So I'm at a dinner party with friends who had just moved to Vancouver. I found it hard to breathe. I felt a lot of pressure in my chest. I thought, well, maybe I suddenly got sick. I didn't know what to think, to be honest with you. It got to be so bad that I ended up going to their washroom, and I stood in front of the mirror, and I said, Heather, if you do not get help or say you need help, you're going to die. There was a feeling that came over me about that, and it was a foreboding feeling. So I left the bathroom and said, I need an ambulance. Music got turned down, and they all looked at me and said, What? I said, I need an ambulance. I need an ambulance right now, right now. I don't know what. I got picked up and stuffed into the cart. We're on a black highway, have no idea where he's trying to take me. That feeling just grew and grew within me that I was going to die. It came to a point in time where I surrendered to it, and then all of a sudden this darkness came very slowly from the back like this, came over me slower and slower and slower. It was black like you'd never seen. It was pitch black, but this darkness came until it was just a small, tiny little hole. That's all I could see out of until that was gone. Now I'm in pitch blackness. Call it the abyss or the void because I don't know what to call it, but it was so comfortable there, even though it was pitch black, pitch black. There was no top, bottom, sides, like it was just this incredible vast fog. It was very much like if you're ever in a lake and you're the only one there and you're just floating. I didn't hear anything. There were no sounds, just that sensation of floating, of being completely supported and very, very comfortable. There was no fear. I had absolutely zero fear. There was no stress. I was more or less intrigued, to be honest with you. I was intrigued about what is this? What is this place? So curious as to how dark this really was that I had taken my hand and put it in front of my face to see if I could see my hand, and I could not. So that's how dark it was. Now, way off in the distance, I saw this tiny spark of light. It's the only thing you could see in the whole entire vet, the only thing that I could see. And it got bigger and bigger, and it seemed like it was coming towards me, and I just watched with a sense of curiosity. There was really nothing else I could do. It wasn't like I could move and run or anything. I was suspended as it's coming closer and closer, and I realized, oh, hey, wait a minute up, that looks like a tunnel. It looks like a swirling with different tones of gray and sparks of a brighter light. And so I'm watching this, and now it's getting closer and closer, and I'm watching it. It's coming above me, but now I'm ascending upwards. I have no control over that whatsoever. But now I'm suddenly in it, and now I'm starting to get nervous because I don't know what that is, you know? I have absolutely no idea. I put my arms and legs out because I thought, well, if I could touch the side, maybe I could stop myself from going up because I was trying to control the situation. I did not want to be able to control with this, you know, but it expanded on me. I definitely started to freak out a bit because that really meant I had absolutely zero control. I had absolutely zero understanding of what was happening, and I didn't know what this was. But as I'm going up and up and up, and I could see, because you're kind of going up and over, it's actually an up and over feeling, and I could see at the top of the tunnel, I guess we could call it, this extreme bright light, extreme, extreme, extreme. And then all of a sudden, I was there. So I'm like this, still don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. When I was a child and I had asked my father, well, what happens when we die, Dad? And he said, nothing. We live, we die, that's it. You're in the ground, that's all. And so I took that as a little kid at absolute face value. And so, you know, that's why I didn't know about any of this. If I had read books or anything, I didn't know. I again into this bright light, and I'm stunned with the brightness of it. So it was like a blue-white light, and within that white light are also silvers and, like, there's a lot of depth to that white light. It's not just color. Then there were people, and the best way I can explain the people coming out of the light were, if you've ever been to a football game, and you know those really large lights that they all have up there, you take every single one of those lights, and you put them ground level, stacked on top of each other, and then people coming out of that. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? What the hell's going on? You know, there was a massive group of people. Could have been 100 or more, big group of people. I'm like this, and I'm rude, okay. I'm really rude, and I'm telling them to back the F away from me. Get the F away from me. I know you, get away, keep away from me. Oh, wait a minute, there's Nanny, my great-grandmother. Oh, there's my great-grandfather. There's my Aunt Alice and my Uncle Dick. And I'm noticing these people that I knew that passed, and I didn't understand that. I absolutely did not understand that. And I said, I just, had said to myself, I don't know what's going on. Where am I, I'm sorry, but I mean, that's how it was. I was actually quite rude. And, my great-grandmother stepped towards me, and this always makes me tear up. She said, Heather, you have died. And I was like, no, that can't be, sorry. She was the one who told me because I didn't know. That stage was when I started to recognize the light, that incredible light. And it was loving, yes, beyond what we could imagine. Just an acceptance and support and kindness and gentleness. And, I had fallen to my knees at the time, and you think, well, where the heck am I that there's a floor? That never made sense to me. Where the heck am I? That there's an actual floor, but everything was white, and I had fallen to my knees and I was sobbing. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be dead. I didn't even get to live. I didn't even get to do anything. That was my main thing. I didn't get to do anything. It was just too short. And then there was another energy, a higher form of energy, and I could only differentiate that by a feeling. The frequency vibration itself with fire. I was told that I was going to be okay. Yes, I have died. And then we immediately went to a life review. It was really fast, but it was an interesting life review. I wasn't afraid of anything, and I wasn't afraid of this presence, and that's all I can explain it as. It's a presence. In the absence of a face or anything, everything's telepathy. Even when my grandmother was talking to me, everything is just immediately in your head. Immediately, the life review. It's as if you're so submerged in it. It's not like watching a film, or it wasn't like that for me. It wasn't like watching a movie. Above me, the signs below me, I was immersed in my life in all sense of it, but beyond the five senses, well beyond that. I think the most interesting thing about that I had found, was the understanding of how we affect one another. Even when we have a thought about somebody, they pick it up. It's subconscious, but they pick it up, and they'll store it, So if you have a really harsh thought about somebody, they pick it up, and they bring it into themselves as part of their understanding of themselves. So you never know how a little bit of kindness to somebody can change their life. There were some people that I had absolutely no idea that they took it on as something that was so incredibly helpful to them that it altered their course. So that was amazing to me. I thought, it's so, the life review isn't just, oh, these were harsh things that you did. You're also shown wonderful things. You're shown wonderful connections you had with people, even animal pets, the exchange that you have with the world around, showing all that. But what's interesting about it is you really feel the sentiment, exactly how the other person felt, 100%. It's almost like you're a part of them, but you're not, you know what I mean? Because we are actually so interlinked energetically, we really are. I was shown about karma in the sense of how that works, and that's part of also these agreements. So I was shown other lifetimes that I had had. One of them was I killed somebody in another lifetime, and I'm being shown that, and then I'm shown the person, and we had an agreement. We were going to reverse roles, not to the point of death, mind you, but some really traumatic stuff, And I was going to be the receiver, they were going to be the doer, So I was shown that as well. And so it did give me a much better understanding as to why some of the things had occurred that just seemed out of left field for me. I learned all about energy and the human body because this is what I was going to come back with. So I was shown in lightning speed. It's like it's just there. All the information is just there. Very, very, very quickly and flashed in front of you. This is how it worked, just real quick. And so how the human body works on an energetic level, what we take in, what we put out, how it moves within the body, all about the aura field, all about energy points, and how emotions work and how unprocessed emotions affect the physical body. Brains are so incredibly powerful. We can hinder ourselves or not. We can make things better within ourselves. What we direct out there is a frequency, and that frequency we can also invite, though depending upon it, the lower level frequency, higher level frequency. How to move energy, how to pull in energy. It's almost like using the body as a filing cabinet. Oh, I've got to stick this file, and I'm going to put it over here, or in my lower back, or because I don't have the luxury right now to deal with that, and so we file it and put it away. I also went to the Crystal City, which was immensely beautiful. It would be kind of like, I was 15 miles, 20 miles out, and I wasn't there very long. Somebody came to meet me. I didn't get to see their face or anything. I just knew it was a body and somebody who really liked me because they gave me a great big hug, basically. It's not my time to be home, so I was like, oh, okay. And then going immediately gone from there was the place of healing for souls who have done their lifetime. And sometimes lifetimes can be really traumatic, and we go to a place of healing. There's healing pools, there's water, healing water, which is incredible as well. Oh, and everything's marble. Everything was marble. White marble was quite interesting, actually. Columns, there were columns. Some souls can be there for quite some time. Not that there's time as how we understand it, of course. Some could be there for a very, very long time depending on the life experience that they had. And there was the Hall of Records. I called them the Hall of Records because at that time, that was the language that I used, and I understand that everybody calls it the Akashic Records. It's fine, doesn't really matter what we call it. The books are as high up as you could possibly imagine, and I was shown my book. My book. Well, I obviously had a lot of lifetimes because it was pretty thick, so I had been around quite a bit of times. Within that, there was like a little running TV, obviously of this lifetime, which I found odd and strange. And then, of course, when Harry Potter came out, I thought they talked to some people who had NDEs and maybe had looked at their book. So I thought that was kind of interesting when I watched Harry Potter many years later. What I was also shown was on a soul level. Not all souls are kind of in the same place. So if you've got a soul vibration on, let's say level 3, well, they're not going to be in the same soul understanding vibration as somebody sitting at 5 or 6 frequency. So it's interesting that kind of like was with like. There's many different levels. There's a place that you do go and you have mentors where you are working out your life agreement. I was not actually going to come back, and I had debated, well, through crying basically, and in disbelief that I was dead, that I didn't have a chance to really start, and I didn't have a chance to do the things that I came here to do, and that I wanted to go back, and I wanted to do the work that I set out to do in regards to my life contract. I was told coming back was going to be far more difficult than before I died. On a physical, emotional, mental, psychological level, it was all going to be extraordinarily painful, and there were things that physically I wasn't going to be able to heal, and I was going to live with that pain, so I was to be prepared for that. Then I was asked again, do you want to come back? We're connected to each other. I think if we could just have that understanding how connected we are to one another, and let go of all our beliefs of one another, and really have that understanding that we are energetically a part of each other at all times. We're all human, period. We don't have to have all these divisions in everything that have been created. I think if my wish could be anything, if we could just get to that understanding.